Believe it or not, this type of video takes a huge amount of effort to film. There is a lot that goes into making sure that you get the shots and setting up the camera and so on and so forth. And also, it takes a huge amount of effort to edit. I have hours and hours of footage, and it takes a lot of time to decide what footage to use, what footage to leave out. Have to go through everything and make sure that I don't leave out details and whatnot. So, if you do enjoy this content, please be sure to let me know, and if you don't like it, leave a thumbs down, and maybe that will encourage me not to waste my time making videos like this. Alright YouTube, in order to add some more lightness to the jet ski, I am going to be building some aluminum parts to fasten to some carbon fiber. So that should make it go probably about twice as fast. I'm finally going to build a part for the relay. I've been using a tractor relay. So my idea as of now is to take some of this stuff and basically drill some holes in it so that it fits around the carbon fiber, cut a slot in it, put a pinch bolt in, and basically make it so that there's 4 brackets on here with pinch bolts, and then I will build an aluminum center. As with all of my projects, I don't have any plans, blueprints, or really a finished idea. I basically just have an idea in my head of what I want it to come out like, and so I'm just going to start cutting material. I'm actually going to do this in the lathe because it's easier to do, and yeah, more accurate. I can cut it out to whatever size I want using the boring burr. These first cuts don't have to be accurate at all because the hole's going to end up getting bored out anyway, so I'm just gonna hog it out real quick. The biggest end mill that I have that will fit in this chuck, so I'll have to go to the boring burr next. The boring burr will make pretty quick work of this because it's just aluminum. So now what I need to do is put a slice in this all the way through, of course. And then I need to drill 1/2 and tap the other half so that I can put a bolt through. I want to try to get rid of a bunch of this material. Alright, so I've got the mill set up and I've marked a couple of lines on here. I'm going to drill this out so that I can put a 6mm bolt in there, and then I'm going to cut where the red line is with a small end mill, and that will give me the pinch area. I was thinking about cutting this in half and making 2 out of 1. But I want to make sure that I have a fairly large clamping area because it is clamping down on carbon fiber and I don't want it to crack. Alright, I'm just going to use an end mill, a 1/8 end mill to drill a pilot hole. And the reason I'm doing that is because I want to go a little bit deeper than my starter bit will go. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is use a 3/8 end mill to make a pocket for the screw. I don't think this is going to be big enough, but I want to see how close I am to the edge. That's actually not too tough right here. Alright, so I have that machined out so that the head of the Allen screw fits in there nicely. I got my 0 set on the mill, so I need to plunge in 750 from the surface. So let's go. Alright, now that I have the clearance hole drilled, all I need to do is thread it from the other side with a 6x1 tap, and then I can cut the slot in it and we'll be good to go. Actually, I can thread it from this side. It'll work a whole lot better because it'll keep it aligned. So I've got the hole tapped out. We'll test fit a bolt in the hole before I cut my slot. Oh man, that threads in nice. There we go. It's countersunk in there nicely. So now I'll take it back out, put this back in the mill, and use the 1/8 end mill to cut a slot in this. This is going to take a while, so I'm not going to film all of it. It's going to be a lot of very slow cutting. I don't want to break the end mill, so I got to be careful. Alright, let's give this another test fit. So now when I tighten this down, it should pinch a little bit here. I am going to remove some material around this area. Not 100% sure how I'm going to do that yet. I might do some of it with the mill, but probably end up just using the belt sander. But first I'm going to test to see how this fits on the surf brace. Alright, I've taken one of the surf braces off, and let's see how this fits. Or if it fits. I think what's happening is the aluminum is actually a little bit bigger. Once it's on there, it'll probably be okay. Yeah, there we go. Alright. So it's on there with a pretty decent fit. It has a little bit of play. Alright, I don't want to twist on the carbon, so I'm going to put it in here. Oh, point the camera in the right direction. Alright, so it would work as it is. I've snugged this up and it has tightened up on the carbon fiber. But, yeah. I'm actually going to remove some material. Oh, okay, and it does open back up, so that's good. Can we get it out? Perfect. Alright, I have this old 1/8 piece of aluminum, and this is what I'm going to be using for the bracket. Not this specific piece, but I just wanted to show you guys what I plan on doing. So what I'm going to do, not in this location, it's actually going to be back here, but just so the camera can see it, I will do it here. Basically, this is going to go on the carbon fiber, and then this piece is going to actually sit in the groove. And so when I tighten it down, it's going to tighten both on the carbon fiber and on the plate. So I've made one of these, and it was quite time consuming. I've never actually tried this before, but my dad gave me this doubling container before he passed away. Basically what you do is you put your part in it. I'll just show you. I've never actually used it, so I hope it works. What you do is take your part, put it inside, and then you shake it. It works. Cool. Alright YouTube, it has been several days since I did the last filming of this project. But I've been out riding jet skis, this and the X2 and some other stuff. And I've made some progress in these parts, figured out how I'm going to change the shape of these. So I figured that now I will show you guys how I did this without any kind of spindexer or indexer. This is a very unsafe way of doing this. I have to put a warning in here saying that absolutely, under no circumstances, try this yourself. The process that you're about to see is quite dangerous, even if you know what you're doing, and one split second of inattentiveness and you could very much hurt yourself, ruin a bunch of tools, and ruin the pieces that you're working on. I'm doing this because I'm making a video. I don't have the tool. I can't afford to buy the proper tool. And so yeah, I did this. It's not smart. I'm aware that it's not smart. Do not do this yourself. All right, so the idea is that I want to turn this piece into something more like this. For one, I want it to look nicer, and there's a whole lot of sharp edges on here that can snag stuff, and also extra weight that doesn't need to be there. And on top of that, because this is a pinch system, if I don't remove an equal amount of material around the outside of this, then basically all of the bending is going to be in one spot, and it's much more likely to crack or fail. So by doing this and removing an equal amount of material, the stresses are distributed throughout a larger area. Science. All right, people. Once again, another disclaimer. I'm not kidding about this at all. Do not try this yourself. Even if you're fairly familiar with machining equipment, the probability of something going very wrong is quite high. The most likely scenario is that you're going to accidentally climb a mill and it's going to pull the piece and basically start self-feeding. So it's going to rapidly start removing material, and within a split second it will probably snap your end mill, ruin your piece, and perhaps damage your vise or whatever piece you're using to hold it in place. So again, do not do this. I'm setting my end mill a safe distance away from my vise using a piece of cardstock, and now I can move it out, remove it, and I know that my end mill isn't going to hit now. The idea is I have a socket in the vise and this is fairly loose on there, so what I'm going to do is use the pinch bolt to snug it up until I can barely rotate this. I'm going to spray some oil in between those surfaces so that it moves fairly easily. I'll tighten this up until I don't get a lot of play. Now I'm going to give you guys an example of what I mean by climb milling. The end mill in this case turns clockwise, as they do in most cases. So if I take a piece of material and I feed it along like this in that direction, it's moving against the direction of the end mill, and so that is not climb milling. On the other hand, if I took a piece of material and fed it from this side, this is what you call climb milling. So the material will be coming in the same direction that the mill is rotating, and what it does is it tries to snag the material and self-feed. It tries to pull the material through. And if you don't have your material extremely secure, it will self-feed basically, and a whole lot of very nasty things happen. So yeah. I have now moved the end mill so that it is sitting in the center of the vise opening, and I am going to very slowly feed in and rotate this piece like this. So pay attention, but do not try this yourself. So I'm not sure if you guys are picking up on what's going on here, but basically when I move in this direction, I'm not climb milling, but you can see it kind of fetches and pulls when I go this way. If I were to make a mistake and feed in even 5/1000ths while I was going in this direction, it would probably completely destroy everything. So I'm going to continue doing this. I'll very likely time lapse all this because it's going to take some time. I'm taking about 5/1000ths in a pass. The mill and the cutter does what you call spring, and so basically even though I dial in say 10/1000ths, when I do my cut it might only cut off about 8/1000ths because things bend and flex a little bit. So then when I start going in this direction, it's trying to cut off 2/1000ths, and it's trying to cut off 2/1000ths in a climb pass direction, so it tries to yank this out of my hand. Worst case scenario, if it touched this side, it would snap the end mill, it would rip this completely out. It would destroy a lot of stuff in a real it would destroy a whole lot of stuff really quickly. Alright, as I approach the final cut through this area, it gets very dangerous because I could accidentally start climb milling on this side and that would be catastrophic. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it off and I'm going to switch it so that I'm cutting from this side. Well, that's going to do it for this video. Thanks for watching. If you liked the content, please leave a thumbs up or leave a comment saying that you enjoyed it in the comments section. Believe it or not, this type of video takes a huge amount of effort to film. There's a lot involved in making sure that you capture all of the right shots and explain everything in a way that will be entertaining and that will help people understand what you're actually doing. It also takes a huge amount of effort to edit because you have to go through all the footage and make sure that you leave in the right bits and cut out things that aren't important. So it is extremely time consuming to edit. So if you liked the video, please leave a thumbs up. Tell me that you liked it. If you didn't like it, leave a thumbs down and perhaps that will save me some time in editing in the future. I will continue to make pieces for my jet ski like this because I enjoy doing it and that's how I pass my time. But yeah, if you liked it, leave a thumbs up. If you didn't, leave a thumbs down. That's going to be all for this one. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.